It was no bite and all bark at Lewis and Clark. Students at Lewis and Clark College shouted down conservative philosopher Christina Hoff Sommers at a speech she gave at the University Law School. I'd call the student activists, but they didn't seem that organized.
What side are you on, friends? What side are you on? No platform for fascists, no platform at all. And we will fight for justice until Christina's gone. Which side are you on, friends? Which side are you on?
They didn't put any effort into that. It's not even catchy. If you're going to shout down a major thinker like Christina Hoff Sommers, be assertive. Believe in your message, like these guys. See, they're organized. Meanwhile, at Middlebury College, a year ago, students there violently protested against conservative speaker Charles Murray. You remember this. The professor who invited Murray ended up with a concussion. So a year later, the school paper wrote about it, but the editor felt he had to explain why Murray's picture was on the front page of the paper. Why? Because they felt that Murray's image would be traumatizing for the students. The picture of him, what a bunch of asshats. For more on this, we go to one of the students' parents. You should be lucky to have him as a parent. Kat, you've been writing about this stuff for like 30 years, which is amazing.
Before I was born. Yes. I'm not 30 yet.
All right. Does debate still exist in America? Is it over?
It's over.
Yes.
I mean, the only time it's traumatizing to see a photo is if it's of your ex-boyfriend and he's smiling. So unless these students dated Charles Murray, which maybe they did, maybe a couple of them dated and things were going great, and the next thing you know, all of a sudden he left them, then I completely understand.
He dumped them over a low IQ.
I completely understand why they would be reacting this way. Otherwise, they have no excuse.
Yes.
Speeches are not violence. Photos of people just sitting there are not violence, and these kids really need to grow up and get over it.
Tyrus? How are these students going to get jobs in the real world if pictures, if photos scare them?
Okay, let's just ease back a minute. First of all, can you just imagine the protesting planner, the guy who put it together while they were doing that? You know, he was sitting in the van going, oh my God. I told them a million times to shout us, not we. Like, the choreographer probably had to apologize to everyone. We're going to come back out and we're going to try this again. Like, it was literally protested. There wasn't even no effort in it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not the students. Mm-hmm. It's the administrator or whoever was in charge of that.
Yeah.
The person, oh, this is going to hurt the children. Really? That's going to hurt the children? An old man side profile, and if you look at all their Facebooks and Instagram, they got a ton of selfies on there to scare the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Opposed to some old guy who didn't even know he was taking a picture, who looked like he was holding on with his last breath. I mean, it's not even, they don't even go to the kids. They're like, I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you some pictures. If anyone needs to offend you, please let me know. They don't even do that. They don't want to deal with it, or they want to make it a big issue. And then someone will be like, oh, it makes us upset. And then they don't even think about, am I upset? I think I am upset. Yeah, we're upset. Let's protest.
They're indulging these kids, Lauren. What's wrong with this generation?
They have a lot of feelings.
They do.
They have a lot of feelings, and they equate violence with words that they don't like to hear. And so when they heard this racist author, as they're calling him, speaking at their school, they were so against his violent words that they attacked him and the other professor he was speaking with and gave her a concussion to prove how anti-violent they are, Greg.
So true.
They're against violence.
Yes.
These guys need to, first of all, I was in college. Were any of you even involved in a protest about a speaker on some other department that I wasn't studying? Have a natty light. I mean, why are these kids go from protest to protest?
Or if you're going to be engaged, don't be. You know, Doctor, this is kind of your wheelhouse. I have because you deal with a lot of young people with problems, and I mean, you're working with one.
Right. Yeah, well, there's that. but I find myself disgusted by a lot of things in the world today. This is one of them. We take liberty and freedom for granted. Free speech is the foundation of what we're doing here. I'm a scientist, and I learn in science all the time that lots of things are irrational and don't make sense.
Yeah.
That's what being a scientist is, learning to accept things as they are. But you do that through discourse and dialogue and shared ideas. If you break that down, that is fascist.
Yeah.
That is where fascism hit the road with fascism. And I'm frankly, this is one of the things that has me gravely concerned. I'm disgusted, but to answer your question, at the core, it is the narcissistic turn we've had. We're all such brittle narcissists
Right.
that we're hurt to our core. We feel so tiny and little inside. Get over it. Get some grit. Let's get going here. Let's solve problems. I want everyone to join me in the radical middle, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm in the radical middle where we solve things pragmatically and we share ideas and we value the First Amendment, and let's get on with business. Come on now.
You know what you're talking about too is that if you eliminate that step between anger and violence, which is dialogue.
It's words.
It's
That's
all
right.
it's all that's left is violence.
That's
That's
right.
all, and it's almost as these folks want that. They actually want the violence, and they would probably lose.
It's a weird projection of their own internal violence that
Yeah,
they're afraid
yeah,
of.
it's
their
the
own
anger.
violence, their own anger.
Yeah.
And Lauren pointed that out. That at the end, what do? They violently attack somebody
Yeah.
who was just trying to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
All right, I'm so angry I could hit somebody over violence. Still to come, does a universe exist where we all can live forever? The most incredible scientific discovery since the Pop-Tart. Next.